Good evening, everybody. Jay Blaze here from Organically Blunt. I am here this evening with Tommy Tricombs, and it is a pleasure and an opportunity to meet you, Tommy. Welcome to the Organically Blunt show this evening.
Hey, nice to meet you. How's everyone doing?
Definitely. It might take a minute for everybody to get in here, but I wanted to break it down, and I know you're passionate about KNF, and which is Korean natural farming, and Jadam. Can you break it down for the audience out there and kind of give them a definition of what the difference between the two is? Oop, I think we lost them. At least we got a good smile on out of them. All right. I think he's having connection issues, guys. He'll be back, but all right. All right, we got you back.
All right.
I think
Did I freeze out?
yeah, you froze out. Yep, you're
Oh
kind of
man,
been
that doesn't keep happening.
it's kind of keep happening here. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. Uh, I'm sure it's connection issue somewhere in there.
Um, yeah. Let.
All right, that one looks good. All right, we might have to get you closed on the other one. I'm gonna kick you out on the other one.
Okay, would it open the whole new thing?
No, no, no. It'll just close it. Hold on 1 second.
All
There we
right.
go.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. Sorry about that. So we had some technical difficulties, but you look good. You sound good. So I think you got a better connection now.
I know.
So, my first question for you right off the bat was, you mentioned in our personal chat when I asked you to come on the show that you're passionate about Jadam and KNF, which is Korean natural farming for the people that don't know out there. And I was wondering if you could kind of explain what the difference between the two are.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm passionate about either, but I do practice a little bit of both. I
Okay.
guess the main difference would be the fermentation using brown sugar or just any kind of sugar you could use, KNF,
Okay.
um, as opposed to Jadam is more like liquid fermentation. Um, it's a little more. It smells it smells a lot less appealing. So
Sure, sure,
both my
definitely.
ferments, I do. I guess it would be like KNF style. I do like a
Okay.
brown sugar ferment, fish amino acid. Um, I grow nettle on my property. We do nettle ferments, and then I do like the eggshell calcium.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah. I
yeah, and I
actually,
mean that's you just extract it using vinegar. Labs. A lot of people at least use labs, but that's good for a lot of composting or breaking down
yeah,
of uh, unwanted microorganisms. So
sure, sure. I learned how to do all that this past weekend. I went out to my friend Country Roots had a
oh
foraging
yeah,
event, and they had a couple guests out there that taught how to do labs and how to ferment and um, how to use nettles. Basically is really good for cleaning out your lungs as well as a natural medicine. And we had a lady there who I need to reach out to. She was passionate about natural medicines, and she runs a path. I can't even pronounce it. Pathologically or something. I don't know, something like that. But she's all into natural medicines, and it was very impressive. Like what I learned this past weekend. I'll be coming out with the video here probably in the next couple of days, but it's kind of cool that you were kind of coming on the show along the same time. I know you do a lot of organic different practices and stuff like that. And I just kind of want to dive into that and kind of give some information for people that might just be getting started in that, like how did you get started, and basically what kind of problems did you come across when you first got started?
Well, basically, I mean, I don't know. I guess I've been growing like organic practices, natural practices outdoor for a long time now, but as far as indoor, kind of during or a little bit before the pandemic, I really started to convert all my indoor grow over to the 4x8 living soil beds. One of the main reasons is just the industry, the price, the price of flour and all that. I mean, it's just a lot cheaper to kind of make your own inputs. Um,
Yeah,
I think it shows in the flavor as well as just the cleanliness of the smoke. So that's kind
definitely.
of the reason why. I mean, it's just like a combination of reasons. Just uh, it all kind of came together. You know what I mean? Just uh,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah.
So do you have a favorite strain you've grown so far that you're particularly like keeping around or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, I got a lot of strains that I kind of keep around. Some of the ones I'm known for lately, the blueberry Skittles I've been growing. Two Scoops is another one that I've been growing for a while that I kind of keep in rotation. Screaming Eagle is another really, it's one of my favorites. It's a super strong, uplifting kind of potent high. But yeah, I mean, I always keep it moving. I think I got about 30 on the list. I do a lot of pheno hunting. Uh, but I guess when it comes to keeping them in rotation, I roll with about a half a dozen at a time and kind of cycle those through. I mean, I'll grow one plant of this or one plant of that over in the
Sure.
corner, just to keep my flavors, my flavor palette a little more opened up. But
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. I've got about 50 of them going right now myself, I got to go soil prep this weekend, and hopefully next weekend if we're good, we'll be putting them in the ground for the season. So I'm excited, Um
yeah, yeah, it's that time of year. It's busy time for everyone. It's I
yeah,
was
yeah,
getting, I was getting some holes prepped today, and I yeah, I don't know. I just I got them outside underneath one of those solar lights, one of those solar floodlights, just to keep them from going into flower, kind of acclimate them to the outside.
sure, sure. I got a couple auto flowers I'm trying to, outside. I've never done it, but people say you can, and I want to see if I can make them work. I don't know. They
Yeah,
they I just put them in the soil. I didn't germinate them like indoors or anything like that. So we'll see. They're in grow bags, so you
okay.
know we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know they popped up through the soil so far, but other than
Mhm.
that, I don't
Hey,
know if they're
you're
gonna.
off to the races now. Just from what I know,
Right.
I mean, I've done a couple little rounds of auto flowers, nothing serious, just like you're saying, outdoor, and
Yep.
they're fun. They're fun. I don't know. I like to have a little more control over it, and
Sure.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely something you don't have a lot of control over, but it's fun to play with, and I use them just for variety. A lot of people don't like autoflowers. Me personally, I like them. I played with them, and I play with the fems, and I play with the regs, and
Yeah.
I haven't done any breeding yet. So, that's on my list of learning eventually, but I'm not really fully interested in it completely. I mean, it's cool and I want to make my own strain, but at the same time, I really don't have the room or the interest for it. So it's like, you know, it's cool to
Yeah.
watch my
It's a
friends
big
do it.
commitment. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a
It's
big commitment. The breeding. By the time you get the seeds made, you're like you're almost over it. Sometimes like, oh, now it's time to run them. You know what I mean? And you run them and sort through it. A lot of staying organized. Labeling and stuff. I never really. I mean, I've done some breeding projects. I don't call myself a breeder or anything. I don't
sure.
really have like seeds out on the market or anything like that. But yeah, I do know the ins and outs of it. Of hunting through tons of seeds. So I've always kind of done that, and um, yeah, yeah. The
Now,
breeding nowadays, I'd say you'd pay to make femmes. I've never done that either, but it just seems that's kind of the way the market's going when it comes to seed sales.
it really is. Yeah, definitely. But I remember a time when, I've been friends with a lot of breeders, and these guys will say, "You remember back when I first started and people did not want to buy autoflowers? Now a lot of people are buying them, and it's kind of crazy because a lot
Right.
of people still don't like them, but a lot of people are still buying them, and it's like, well, everybody wants to try something different. So, we got a guy coming on here, hopefully in the beginning of June. He's from the Netherlands. He's a breeder. He breeds mutant genetics, and I'm gonna try my hand at some of those as well, like Duckfoot, and I've done Freak Show, but Duckfoot, and he has another one that where the leaf, half of it will turn green, half of it will turn yellow, and all different ferns.
Variegation and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna try it to see what I can do, and he's got all the kinds of stuff, and it's very interesting. I definitely have learned a lot from these different cultures that you know I wish we had some of that stuff here. Like, I know we do, but I'm saying like it was more practiced, like publicly, because you don't really hear of a lot of people breeding for mutant genetics. So he's definitely got it in the bag to himself, pretty much, as far
Yeah.
as you know.
Shout out to Canatai Seeds. I know he works with them. I have a friend. I have a friend here locally. Uh,
Oh,
Sativa Smurf um, on Instagram. He goes by. He does
okay.
some. He's got some mutant auto
Oh,
work. I was actually just looking at seeds with him this afternoon.
wow. I've never knew that they made mutant autos, so that's definitely awesome. I
I
wouldn't mind.
mean, that's what he's working on. I'm not going to go sit
Yeah.
here and guarantee him or vouch for it, but
Right.
uh,
Right. Hey,
yeah,
that's different.
I
That's
believe.
different. Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going for, the mutant auto freak show or something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh no,
It's
ABC is the Australian bastard cannabis or whatever. That's what he's got.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. Definitely. Yeah, we got a guy here in Michigan. He's got ABC Seed Co. And
Yeah,
I was like,
good people.
uh, yeah, definitely, definitely. So where are you located, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in Niles, Michigan.
Okay, so you're not far from me. A couple hours. Yep.
Yeah, very southwest Michigan. Yep.
Yeah, and in 2 weeks, we're gonna have Mindo Dope up here. So
Yeah. Yep. I'll
yeah,
be there at the event. I'll go.
okay,
So I want to come on
okay,
and let everyone know. Come see me and
definitely.
please just say hello. But yeah, we'll be there vending. Me and my
That'll be
wife.
badass.
Yep.
So what do you guys vend, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, it's for the people that don't know, so they can come check you guys out.
We've been, yeah, it's 100% all natural flour. We don't use any pesticides. So this time of year, it would be indoor.
Okay.
So yeah, it'd be indoor living soil beds. We sell flour. We do some fresh frozen rosin. Um,
Okay.
I
Yep.
don't do the washing or pressing. A friend of mine he goes by Roots Two Rosin. Um, he's my washing guy. So
That's
we're in
awesome.
partnership with him. Yeah, I grow the flour and we got a little deal set up.
Hey,
Kind of getting his name out there. But yeah, the rosin. We usually have edibles. Clone. Sometimes clones. I actually do prefer to just do clones online or something. It's a little easier
sure.
than hauling the clones to the events and this and that. But we have that. We'll have edibles here and there. We're not too big into that, but mainly just the flour and the rosin at the events. Yep.
Awesome. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna be growing um some cherry lime reserve, and I'm hoping to enter my first cup in December for the sun grown competition. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. We'll see how it goes. I've never done it. I'm self-conscious, but everybody says that I had grow some decent smoke. So it's like, I definitely want to see
yeah,
what I can produce and bring it to the table, because I do all organic. So and
yeah. That's the way to go.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they don't want you. I don't think they want you entering if it's not organic.
You're right.
Nick's a good friend of mine as well. Nick and Chris, both good
Sure.
friends. But yeah, no, that's a good competition. You get in that one. It's a stiff competition. There's some
Oh yeah.
really good outdoor sun grown
Oh yeah.
flower here in Michigan. So
Yeah, I know some of these guys, I've been sampling their work lately, and I'm blown away. I'm like, man, I don't know if I can compete against that, but I'm sure as hell gonna try, and
yeah.
I'm pulling out all my tricks, and hopefully everything works out good in my favor. Last year I lost pretty much my whole crop to the rain, and it molded, and I didn't
Yeah,
have solid genetics for our climate here in Michigan. I mean, they were good genetics, but they weren't mold resistant enough for what we have here. And this year, I'm
right.
going a lot of fast genetics. I wanna be done in the end of September if I can. So it cuts it down a little bit, but I'm only growing for myself, so I don't really have to impress anybody else really. So, but
Yeah,
a few of them were going to be, regular standard, finish, but a few of them are going to finish early. That way I can kind of stagger them, because I don't have a lot of room. So when it comes to drying and curing,
yeah,
I, w- I gotta kind of, I don't know how to explain it, kind of schedule it almost. So that way
yeah.
everything.
You got to do the juggle. I know all about that. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and it's not easy. I'm looking at buying a Cantro maybe this year. I don't know for sure, but I might try. They're expensive, but everybody swears by them, and I wouldn't mind being able to dry 2 pounds in my house at no problem. you know, and it stores and cures it. But you
Yeah,
know,
I'd have to see it to believe it.
yeah,
That's like
yeah.
that's like a drying machine kind of deal, or is
Uh,
it one of those? What's it? One of those
it's
totes with the fan on there and the little.
no, 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 no. This one, it looks like a wine cooler, but the guy who invented it is an engineered scientist who specializes in controls, electronic control systems,
Uh-huh.
and he developed this, and it. I can't explain more than that. You know, I really can't because I don't know all the specifics, but I can tell you that everybody I know swears by it, and it's the best thing out there as far as what it is. And if you're looking to research more on it, you're more than welcome to check it out, cantrol.com. And yeah, they're expensive, but the closest competitor I already have, you know, I use it on and off. It's called a Herbs Now dryer, and it kind of looks like that one looks like a dehumidifier or uh not a dehumidifier, eh,
Like a
I
food
can't
dehydrator kind of thing.
dehydrator. Yeah, that was the word I was trying to think of. Sorry, but
And, uh,
yeah, and it's all right. It's all right, but I prefer to hang dry. But like I said, I don't have room, and then now I set up a living soil bed where I did have room, so it's like, well, I got to keep that bed going, so I can't really dry in the same location. So I've kind
yeah,
of I've
yeah.
kind of had
Dedicated dry spaces. It's
yep.
it's a major thing. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, definitely,
you know,
definitely.
I had to give up space where I would have normally just had, lights for production, but just planning ahead because, yeah, I have just a climate controlled room where I can keep it right where I want, 60.
Definitely.
I mean, I do basically 60 for 2 weeks, the standard.
Sure, definitely.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, and you can kind of just play around with that if you don't have time to get to bucking it all off the branches and getting it all finished, trimmed or whatnot. You can kind of almost use the room as like a large jar. You know what I mean? It kind of just hangs and just it seems a little sketchy at times, just leaving it hang like that. But you can actually kind of control
Yep.
the consistency of the herb just by the climate in the room. But
I dried in a motorhome once. I'll tell you what, they work really well.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I've tried I've tried a lot of places. I mean, my dad used to always just use he would just use like those little plastic kiddie pools, and he'd just have like branches like laying in there and shit. Be like in the loft of a garage, like probably 95 degrees. But when I was a kid, it was
Oh
some of
yeah.
the best herbs. So I was like, man, whatever.
My parents did the same thing, and I look back and I'm like, I remember plants in our living room, and they're like, "You remember that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They had like 55-gallon terracotta plants in our living room with
Yeah.
clipped shop lights, and they used to tell us, "Don't touch those," and we didn't know what they were, but we knew we weren't supposed to touch it. And now that we're older, we know what it is. And our parents don't smoke at all now. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, what are you guys up to? Like, oh, yeah, you want to yell at us for it, but look at you. You guys were doing it too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, crazy.
That's fun.
So, what can you tell me about your growing style? I mean, as far as like how you do it indoors. Like, are you in beds or are you
Yeah.
in like okay.
Yeah.
And
LED lights, 4x8 or 4x4 beds.
okay.
That's deep. I started off with what they call the Coots mix,
Yep.
the Cornell mix as well. They call it, but that's a third. peat, moss. It's a third. Worm castings is what I use for my compost. So, and then a third pumice, where you can use, I guess, perlite. But I actually sourced out pumice, and I had to source quite a bit of worm castings to get it all going. But I did really try to kind of model it after the exact kind of way that Coot was explaining it to me. I've done a couple podcasts, just shooting the shit with him, picking his brain a little bit. So it was kind of right when I was setting it all up. So it was like good timing to be able to at least, sit there and talk to the guy that he can,
Man,
he can explain. You ask him the question, he explains, why. He's all about saving a buck. You know what I mean? I'm also big on as far as inputs that I put in. I use malted barley, and I actually buy that at the home brewery store, not the farmer garden store.
okay.
I use insect frass as well, which I get from it's called Frass Valley. He's here in Michigan. I believe he's way up north in Michigan, but
Yeah, I got a sticker on my desk here somewhere.
yeah,
I met.
Frass Valley. It's like a worm, a green sticker with a worm on it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. I got it
Yeah.
here
So
somewhere.
yep, try to keep it. I try to keep it local. I use a little bit of it's the Build a Soil Craft Blend.
Yep.
Just when it comes to re-amending, I use that, and then I actually add a little bit of alfalfa, and I put a little bit of neem seed meal, and that's more for like my nitrogen the beginning phase, or um, even like most of my veg plants are all 1 gallon pot size. So I'll grow them
Wow.
up as big as they can get in a 1 gallon pot, in a completely separate room. And then I transfer them into what would be my flower room, which is the 4x8 beds. I don't do like, there's, if you're familiar with Steve Cantwell, I believe is his name. He does the where they like cut the bottom off. It's like a 1 gallon pot, but there's no bottom, and they kind of just let the roots grow through. I actually do take a small shovel and till, but I'll put to go, and then the dirt that comes out, I kind of just lightly spread that around, around the top of the bed. So I'm not taking any soil out per se, but I'm also not. I just don't do the bottomless pot or whatever. Like not the bottomless pot. I forget what he calls it, but
Yeah,
that
I know what
method.
you're talking. Yep.
Yeah.
Now they got a mat out. I was just telling Chris from Country Roots out at his event this weekend. They got a mat out. Blue Mat does, because I work with them guys, and the water kind of seeps through it, and they take these bottomless plants pots, and they draw the moisture right up out of it.
Yeah.
Like I forget the name of the mat, but he was like, "Oh yeah, I think I've seen that before." And I was like, "Yeah, a lot of these guys are growing like that now." I said, "But I don't have the room." But it, so I totally relate. I do
Mhm.
the bed thing myself, and I love it, and I like talking to other people that do it, because so every time I do, I learn something. I learn something
Yeah.
I might be missing. And
Yeah.
yeah, my bed did great for the first run, and I'm getting ready to get it ready for the second run finally. And we did the lasagna technique, and I started with what was it? Lava rock, riverstone, birch
Okay.
birch saplings from Chris's farm. Then we did biochar that he made me. And then we did worm castings, then his soil. Then I did a little more worm castings. Then I did Build a Soil 3.0 on the top a little bit,
Mhm.
and his cover crop. And that's what I've got so far. So That's my
Yeah.
setup.
It's
Yeah.
almost like a little mini Hugel, huh? You said you got birch branches just in
Yep.
the bottom there, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
what else do they call that? The horizontal system where it's
I think
I,
that's what he calls it. Yeah.
the gravel and stuff in the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't go that. I mean, I don't. I just mixed all mine on a tarp. I just numerous days. But
Sure.
yeah, I just bought the bales of peat at the Menards. $6 or $7 for a big bale. Bought a stack of those. I actually locally sourced a worm casting guy. He was I was at the grow store, the local grow store, which is no longer open here in town, and I'm like looking at their worm castings. I'm like, oh, there's no way I could ever, like this is going to be way too expensive.
Right.
So I just looked at the thing, and it's I think it even said something Indiana on there, and I'm like, oh, I'm just look this place up. So I just looked him up, and I just found the phone number. I just called, and I was like, I got a hold of the worm farming guy. I was like, hey, I was like, I want to, buy some bulk worm castings, and yeah, he was happy. I took some 50-gallon drums over there and in
Wow.
my pickup truck. Yeah, loaded them up. But yeah,
That's
wait, a lot cheaper. And I'm not like I was trying to undercut the store. It was just there
right.
was not it was not even viable. Like the amount
Right. Yep.
the amount
And
I needed.
more of them stores are closing down. We had two of them here in town, and both of them closed down. That's what made me go to the bed. I was throwing my soil out every run, and I didn't know any better. I didn't know nothing else, and all of a sudden, I knew Chris made soil, but I knew I couldn't afford it at the time, Country Roots. But I was
Right.
like, what do I do? And he's like, well, there's an upfront investment, but he said, once you get it, you don't throw it away. I'm going to teach you how to reuse it. And I said, you can do that. And then that's when I learned, and I started trying to educate other
So,
people because
and then it
it's
all
cheap.
starts clicking, and then you're
Yeah,
in there now.
right.
Yeah, there you
Exactly.
go.
Yeah.
Another thing it's like a one time kind of one done thing is MI Beneficials. They're
Yep.
Rove Beetle. So Mark, he's a really good guy. He's out educating the community and whatnot. But yeah, I inoculated
Okay.
worm beds because I have two large 150-gallon water. But yeah,
We
so I
lost.
inoculated those. I inoculated all my beds. I got tons of war. I mean, I'm on run. My oldest bed, I just finished run 13. So I'm on run. I just started run 14 on some of my older beds. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, I mean, it does get a lot better. So if you said you're just going on your second run, I would try not to get discouraged if stuff gets a little out of whack. You know what I mean? Or a little funky. It's just you kind of got to ride it out. You can't
Yep.
just you can't just go pouring products on there to fix it. Sometimes you got to just kind of
Right.
where and I've had a time where yeah, I was definitely noticing some just the quality was not as good, and the growth was not as fast. And I definitely don't get a soil test every time, but I've had a couple of them, and the one of them definitely, some stuff was getting out of balance. I believe I had elevated sodium. So I stopped using some of the the C products. Also started filtering my well water because I never even had that never had that tested. It fluctuates and stuff. So just learning small things. But I sit around. I listen to podcasts all day while I'm working and stuff. So it's just
Yep. Same
constantly
here.
just kind of learning, and then you kind of just adapt to
What works for
adapt to
you?
your system. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
What you vibe with, what makes sense to you. I'm not. I'll be the last guy to be online arguing about whose methods are better or this or that. You know what I mean? It's like I I don't got time for any of that.
Definitely. So I'm gonna run you through a couple questions that we ask
Yeah,
every guest,
for sure.
and they're just standard about you, and not necessarily about growing, and it just kind of gives me a chance to get to know you as a person. So we start out with the simple one, which you've probably been asked before, but if you haven't, here we go. How old were you when you first tried cannabis, and where'd you get it from?
I was 11 years old, and I was with my older neighbor, and I believe he pinched some herb from my dad.
Oh wow!
And that's
Alrighty.
how that went down there.
Definitely, definitely. So, the first time, did you get high?
Yeah, yeah, I was real high.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
everybody has a go-to munchie usually. Mine's Little Debbie's and sour candy. Some people like sweets, some people like fruits, whatever. What is your go-to munchie?
My go-to munchies, huh? How about ice cream Snickers?
Okay. Hell yeah. All right. Yeah. I love those things. All right. Yeah.
No.
Okay, and you say you've grown in some sketchy situations, but as far as consuming, what would you say the most sketchiest situation where you've consumed and you weren't supposed to has been? And you don't have to say the name of the place. You can just kind of say like the concept of it.
Um, I'm trying to think if I've. I I don't know. Well, I like maybe I don't know what's sketchy. I've smoked on that little sky zip line thing at Cedar Point. I've smoked
Oh
in the
no shit!
Cleveland Brown Stadium. I've smoked in there.
Oh wow!
Um, trying to think
Okay,
what else.
that's legit. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The Cleveland Brown
def-
Stadium was. I mean, these are both before weed was. I guess highly accept. You know, it's a lot more accepted
right.
nowadays. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Uh,
That's the only two stadium I went to, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. That's the only two stadiums I've ever been to in my whole life. And
yeah, the
uh,
Cleveland Stadium's a shithole, but it is what
right.
it is.
Yeah, yeah. So, my final question's this is what makes organically blunt. And there's one rule to the question is you can't think too hard. I want the first thought that pops in your head. So here we go. If you could smoke with anybody dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Tupac would be good, I guess.
There we go. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you're the first to actually say that, believe it or not. Out of 400 people I've interviewed, you're the first to say Tupac. It's always
I was
Bob
trying to think
Marley.
something right off my head. I don't know. That's what came off my head.
Oh, I get people all the time
Jimi
on it. They're
Hendrix
like,
would be good.
yep, yep, definitely. I've had Muhammad Ali, I've had, all kinds of philosophers and other people, and it's interesting to hear different people's answers. That's my favorite question. So, is there anything else you want the audience to know about you before I let you go and get you off the horn here?
Mm, no, I just want you guys to know that you can come see me. There's a couple of events coming up. We have the Michigan Gems and Genetics. It is called it's like a summer camping event. I should know the name of it. I see the advertisement every day.
I think they just call it the festival.
Yeah, the
Honestly,
summer festival. It's at Sarns Resort here in Michigan. It's going to be a blast. Mendo Dope. That Grateful Dead tribute band is also really good. I went and seen them.
High Rider. Yep.
High Rider. Yeah, yeah. I'm not
Yes.
like a big. That's not really my jam kind of thing. But I had a really good time at their show.
definitely.
in Grand Rapids.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
last year, Gyms and Genetics had the Echoes of Pink Floyd, and that had to have been the most phenomenal show I've
Yeah.
ever seen. The light show was amazing. I know they're gonna have lights this year. I don't think it's gonna be quite on that caliber, but I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm hoping that he does get that set up. Was talking about it, so definitely, and I'm gonna come swing by and see you now that we've broke the ice here with the show, and
Yeah, for
I
sure.
can formally introduce myself, and I'll be all over the place like I was this past weekend. And you know, I like people that grow organic and that are passionate about the plant. And I seen you all over the net, and like you said, you do a lot of podcasts, and I've seen your name, and I had to see who the man behind the 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 logo was, because definitely, I'm like, man, like, who is this guy? I even told Chris from Country Roots and Dan from Michigan Gyms and Genetics. I told him that you were going to be on here, and I said, you know, they're like, "Oh yeah, everybody knows that guy." I'm like, "Yeah, everybody knows that guy, definitely." So,
Yeah, for good or bad.
right,
Yeah,
right,
no.
right.
Yep. What
So,
else? We got another event coming as well. It's called the 710 Invitational. That's also a 2 or 3 day event. I think I'm gonna enter some rosin in that event. See what flavors I can get cooked up before then. But yeah, I'll definitely be vending at that one as well.
I
And
think I'm going to that one too. I'm pretty sure I'm going to that. In Grand Junction?
yes, yes.
I've never been there. I don't even know where it's at, but I'm told it's by Holland. That's all I'm told.
Um, yeah, I mean, kinda.
Okay.
It's kind of a Holland.
All right.
But no, it should be a fun one. We try to do all the events local to the area. I mean, I got me and my wife. We have 2 children. They both play sports, so there's a lot of weekends when you know what I mean. There's all kinds
Yeah.
of other stuff that prior arrangements and stuff. So it's hard to make it out to every event every weekend or whatnot. But and then also, yeah, I hope uh, my my outdoor garden goes good this year because I will also be entering some flower and hopefully rosin in the sun grown event as well. So I
Yeah.
do
Heck
like
yeah.
I always like a good competition. The sun grown, like I said, real good people. Lime Rising Farms, Nick, he's a great guy, and as well as Chris, both
Yeah.
both real good guys. So it should be fun. It should be fun competition.
Definitely.
Getting some. I had a cherry pie outside, and it all over my whole outdoor garden last year. So that's always fun. But that's growing outdoors. Trying to get cute with the cherry pie. But
Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I've got a couple I'm playing with. I might add a second one, chopped cherry from Self M Genetics. That's
there
bred
you
right
go.
here in Warren, Michigan area. He's from like the Detroit area, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna try it. But that one, I'm thinking I'm gonna snatch a clone from him at Gems and Genetics, honestly, because I don't want to have to wait to germinate because it's ready to go, and I want to get them ready to go in the ground. And
Yeah. No, it's
that
time. It's go time now. You better
yeah,
have a clone. I'd say
you're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
if you're
That's
gonna
what I'm
if
at.
you're gonna go big or go home, you know what I mean?
Yep, yep.
Let's
Well,
go.
and
This
I
is
know.
Michigan, right?
Yeah, I normally do seed myself. Honestly, all my ones I'm running are from seed, but it's because I don't know how to clone, so I haven't cloned yet myself. But Chris is from Country Roots is supposed to teach me. He's gonna do a hands-on with me when we get a chance and teach me how to do it, because I know how, but I haven't been successful at it, and I wanna I want to become successful at being able to keep something I like around. So he's gonna.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah. We'll get you cloning. If Chris can't teach you, I will.
heck yeah, that'd be awesome. Definitely. So I'll tag your Instagram in the show notes afterwards. I'll put the link in there, and everybody can find you and know how to connect with you. And maybe they can find you out, where you're going to be located if you're close to them, and they can meet up with you and try some of your flower firsthand.
For sure. I appreciate it, man.
Anytime, and you're always welcome. If you need it to shout anything out, you need anything promoted, don't hesitate to ask. We always welcome our guests back at any time. So
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, I appreciate you and the support you show for the caregiver scene here in Michigan. So that's awesome, man.
definitely, you have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you for coming on Organically Blunt.
Thanks, peace.
As we close this chapter of Organically Blunt, immense gratitude to our exceptional partners who fuel our growth journey. Seedsman Genetics, the seasoned seed bank with over 2 decades of experience. Grow Bag, your trusted storage solution to protect terps. Gorilla Grow Tent, crafting spaces for cultivating dreams. Kind LEDs, illuminating your green haven. Country Roots Soil and Amendments, nurturing roots for success. Atlas Seeds, a source of pure genetic treasures. Green Wolf Genetics, creators of botanic magic. Smoke and Stork Genetics, where passion meets potency. Humboldt Seed Company, committed to cultivating excellence. Extreme Gardening, elevating your gardening game. Rain Science Grow Bags, redefining plants' homes. 420 Fast Buds, pioneers of fast and furious growth. Captain Redbeard Seeds, sailing the seas of genetic innovation. Aero Mixer, the rheumatic heartbeat of your grow. Petra Tools, your trusted garden companions. SoFem Genetics, sowing seeds of FEMS and Build-A-Soil, building the foundation of your organic oasis. Lost Close Plant Therapy, healing and enhancing plant vitality. Unlock these exclusive deals with coupon code Organically Blunt at checkout. Until our next episode, stay connected and keep growing, and as always, stay organically blunt.